And Keiichi just ignored his whole, like, child abusing history. I can't remember what it was, but he hit a girl with something. Like a young girl. With like a rock or like a slingshot or something like that. Okay, let's see. So all of these regular scenes are done now. And I think what we've been working up to this point is getting us, like, more or less to the beginning of the story, I think. I can't remember if the story really starts, like, after Keiichi's already been here for a little bit of time. I think he has been here for some period of time, though. Not a lot, but some. But we're more or less at the beginning of the story now. And then I guess these two might be part of it as well, so maybe we'll do these two real quick. The Revenge of Mio Takano and Keiichi Maibara changing schools. I think we have that? No. What about the raw sea urchin? We do, okay. Grandfather's articles were trampled on. We have proof as clear as the pathogen causing Hinamizawa syndrome. So why can't they believe in its life cycle? Because they've never heard of that before. Because they can't imagine it. Because there's no way something so absurd could be true. Don't tell me that. I can't bring myself to care about the limits of those commoners' understanding. Why can't anyone believe the truth of my grandfather's article, which has been proven by the Irie Institute? Why do people continue to believe that humans are a special existence? Humans are simply a species of animal. When various parasites that control their animal host exist, how can people declare parasites that use humans as their host don't? Wait, this isn't the problem. Not at all. Because everyone believed my grandfather's article up until now. Isn't that why the Ministry of Health and the Defense Agency lent me their assistance? But out of nowhere, they turned cold. In other words, every bit of their help was because Uncle Kozumi had my back. So nobody actually read my grandfather's article? Did they just pretend to in order to make Uncle Kozumi happy? What's the meaning of everything I've done up until today? I thought I'd achieved something, but what have I really accomplished? I don't know what's going on, and all I can do is wallow in grief. The more I think about it, the more I no longer understand the meaning of my own life. Didn't Mio Takano devote her life to being useful for her grandfather? Then I haven't done anything for him at all. Count 3 with my grandfather, and I go on to count 4. What a crazy thing to say. No. If I let my mind wander, doubt about myself, and my life will slip in. So I'm just going to fill the gap with in my heart with alcohol. Is it that strange to presume the existence of something that can influence human thoughts? It's true that Hinamizawa syndrome isn't the actual cause of ideology. The best it can do is drive people mad. Socialism or capitalism don't originate with it. In the era my grandfather was living, you couldn't talk about the world without ideology. The article came from that time and age, so some of its inferences may be exaggerated or biased, but that's no reason to deny its foresight. You can't simply say it's crazy and push it aside. Besides, the most important thing they ignored is the fact that Rika Furude, the Queen Carrier, holds the fate of the village in her hands. My grandfather had predicted the importance and danger of the Queen Carrier since beginning his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. But the hypothesis of the infected community collapsing into madness if the Queen Carrier dies is the Pandora's box that can't be proven. It can only be confirmed after Rika Furude's death, and if she dies, it'll be too late. But there's no mistake that Rika Furude is the Queen Carrier in a very special existence. It's clear from the various experiments we performed that she is a special influence on the infected villagers. Her death really could trigger the collapse of the entire village. That's no mistake. My grandfather predicted it. To say all of that sounds like a comic book. It's just too cruel. For them to call the various preparations we've made to protect her a fictional project that was used to funnel funds. What I'm doing now is simply what my grandfather was going to do. Therefore, insulting my research is the same as insulting my grandfather. According to my grandfather's article, the first thing that needs to be done when researching the syndrome is to protect the queen carrier. Yet they ridiculed that more than anything else. The more I think about it, the more their words stick in my memory. I can almost hear their voices, and I can't stop myself from covering my ears. I'm sure the members of the board of directors think I'm crazy. I was trying to petition for the Irie Institute to not be shut down, but it backfired. The members must think that Hinamizawa syndrome is some kind of joke, and I'm sure they'll push even harder now to put a stop to her research. If that happens, I would have to go back to researching as an individual. In other words, the same as what my grandfather did. There's a limit to what an individual can do. It's doubtful if I would even be able to go back to researching it individually. Once the Irie Institute is disbanded, everyone is obligated to keep it confidential until we die. I signed a contract to that extent. That's not just a simple promise. If I were to break it, a special unit like the Mountain Dogs would come after me to ensure that I keep everything confidential. Even if that doesn't happen, the Irie Institute is to eradicate the syndrome within a few years and to bury every trace of it, including the results of our research. This isn't the normal process of research and treatment. They want me to pretend nothing ever happened to begin with. I wanted to continue and complete my grandfather's work, but what's happening now will result in the complete opposite. I'm actually helping to eliminate my grandfather's hard-earned research from this world. A treatment that has been created already. Although Irie is as passionate as I am about developing a cure, he's not particularly interested in any other aspect of our research. I hate to admit it, but he has more experience and talent than I do. I'm sure he'll come up with a plan for eradicating Hinamizawa syndrome within 3 years, as requested by the new board of directors. And that board of directors will provide just enough funds to bury the syndrome. Irie will do that happily, just like the time when he disposed of all the research data on test medicine H.102, as was requested. All he can do is to passively hinder them, just like they did me, while watching the Hinamizawa syndrome get eradicated. And when everything is over, I'll finally complete an article which is destined to be destroyed. Should I kill myself with thoughts of it in my head, so I can at least present the article to my grandfather? He won't be happy even if I did that. On the contrary, he'll be disappointed in me for throwing the research he spent half of his life on down the drain. He won't embrace me. I know that for sure. I wanted to reveal Hinamizawa syndrome to the world. I wanted the world to acknowledge my grandfather's masterpiece. I wanted to carve his name in history and to promote him to a god. My grandfather waited, believing that day would come, and he must be patiently waiting still, even after entering his eternal sleep. But I ruined it. I wanted him to become a god. I was going to become a god myself too. Then we will be together forever, and I'll never have to be alone. If I become a god, God won't test me. There won't be any unhappiness. There won't be a sudden train accident. My grandfather won't go away, nor will Uncle Kozumi. I'll never have to go back to being alone. I am alone. I have no allies. I was just dancing in ecstasy on a stage without anybody watching. I had only just realized that there was no applause, but only ridicule. No, it's doubtful that there was actually anyone in the audience to begin with. My parents died, my grandfather died, and then Uncle Kozumi died. 3 times had God toyed with me with their rolls of the dice. I thought I overcame each of those trials with my own strength, but I didn't. I was protected by a new guardian each time. In this time, I have no guardians left to protect me. When I first arrived in Hinamizawa, I had every intention of challenging God and kicking him off of his throne. But now, forget challenging God. I'm just a loser being played with. I suddenly can't find it within myself to care about anything. Because if I cared, I'd be swallowed by sadness. Soaking my heart in alcohol is all I can do to forget about everything. A luxurious black car abruptly stopped next to me. I had become sober immediately, as cars like that remind me of the time when I was captured after escaping from the orphanage. Suspicious-looking men in black suits and sunglasses got out from the car. I realized it instantly. They must have been sent by one of my clients. Being involved in the development of a biological weapon, being the main person responsible for it, and on top of that being mentally unstable. They obviously don't want me walking around freely. They're going to abduct me, seal me in concrete, and erase my existence. Or so I thought. I expected them to grab me and shove me into the car. But surprisingly, they bowed deeply to me instead.
入江機関副所長高野美代三等陸佐でありますね。
普段はね。今はただの飲んだくれの負け犬よ。
お会いしたい方がいらっしゃいます。どうか私たちにご同行いただけないでしょうか。
拒否してもどうせ無理やり連れて行くつもりなんでしょう。
I'll be killed anyway. I can't make my grandfather's wish come true even if I live. Cynical thoughts like that ran through my head. Then the person in the back seat said,
無理にとは申しません。ですが、きっと残差のお力になれると思っております。
I've never met this young woman before. She must be around my age. She knows about the Irie Institute, so she must be somehow connected to my clients. She's too young to be one herself. I bet a client who doesn't want to expose himself sinner. Even if I live, I can't make my grandfather a god. I can't be a god myself either. Who cares about where a loser like me gets killed anyway? I made up my mind and got into the back seat. As soon as I got in, the luxurious car smoothly took off. Silence filled the car for a time. They're the ones that invited me. I don't have anything to say myself.
ご無沙汰しております。と言っても、おそらくご存じないでしょうが。
あら、そうでしたの。覚えていなくて申し訳ないです。
There were so many people at that funeral. I can't recall any of them. But why is that what she's opening with? Does that mean she belongs to the Kozumi faction?
小泉先生は戦後日本復興のオピニオンリーダーの一人として長く活躍されてきました。今日の平和日本を語る上で小泉先生の功績に触れずして説明することは難しいでしょう。戦後の焼け野原から復興するときは我が国の有志たちも一枚岩でしたが、残念ながら今もそうであるとは言えません。平和な時代が進み、焼け野原を知らぬ世代が国の中枢に入り始めるにつれ、当初の高貴な志を知る者は次第に減っていってしまいました。小泉先生はそんな高貴な同志の最後の長老として21世紀へ我が国を導いてくださる大黒柱だったのです
が、小泉先生の死後、小泉派は急速に没落。代わって他の派閥が勢力を伸ばし、いろいろと大変なことになっているでしたっけ。
I heard about these things from Jiro-san. It's really no different from the Sengoku era, when a lord or military leader died back then. The struggle to become his successor brought chaos to the nation. This country hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
その通りです。残念ながら平和日本は住みよい国づくりを実践してきましたが、同時に発足当時の高貴な志を忘れさせてもしまいました。現在東京は各派閥が小泉先生の空けた席と利権をめぐって争いが絶えない状態です。小泉先生をはじめすでに他界されている復興の功労者たちが知ったら、きっとお嘆きになられるに違いありません。
それと私に何の関係が？
あなたはそれの最大の被害者ではありませんか。今日までに風向きが突然変わるような体験を十分にされていると思いますね。
It's true that her research began because of Kozumi Sensei's support, and the pressures we faced under the anti-Kozumi faction have been tempestuous and cold. Maybe for them, every project that Kozumi Sensei left behind is an eyesore, regardless of what that project is. In other words, that simply means they rejected the research itself, doesn't it? Come to think of it, something like this happened to my grandfather too. Back then, Kozumi brought authorities from various fields to see him. They talked down to my grandfather, despite the praise they'd given earlier. Kozumi Sensei told me that the masterminds were responsible for that.
ひなみ沢症候群の研究はアルファベットプロジェクトで最大のもので、予算、体制その他プロジェクトの目玉だったと言っても過言ではありません。故にアルファベットの権益を独占したい連中によって、あなたの研究はそのスケープゴートにされたのです。
スケープゴート。
Scapegoat.
決してひなみ沢症候群の研究が否定されたという意味ではないということです。彼らにとって重要なのはそのプロジェクトの派閥であり、内容ではありません。本日
結局私は見せしめの羊ということなのね。私が何の研究をしていようとどうでもいい。この研究が小泉派のものであったということだけが彼らの関心。
そういうことです。派閥は風向きそのもの。順風な時もあれば逆風となる時もあります。その変わった風向きを取り戻すのは残念ながら容易なことではありません。
私のクライアントたちが敵対的になったのを元に戻すのは容易ではないということ。
そうです。アルファベットプロジェクトは完全に乗っ取られてしまいました。理事は全て変わり、彼らの私欲を肥やすためだけに決定をします。あなたの捨て身の説明など初めから彼らには耳を貸す気もないのです。
I grasped my knees, remembering that humiliating day.
ここで一度話を折ります。高野さんにとっての研究の目的は何ですか？
それは研究者としての知的な好奇心から。
あなたが祖父と呼び敬愛していた故高野先生との約束ではないのですか？
Well, that's surprising. Kozumi Sensei once told me that this fact could become a hindrance, so I've never told any of my clients about it. How did she find out? If they know that, maybe they know a lot more about us than I think.
どこでそれを知ったんですか？
小泉先生からです。私たちはあなたの敵ではありません。どうかお楽になさってください。
I don't know who she really is, but I know she's here because she wants something from me. So what is it that she wants? She knows about the relationship between my grandfather and me, so I can't be careless.
ただ 私たちがあなたの力になるには、あなたに本当のことを話していただかなくてはなりません。つまり腹を割っていただきたいということです。
おっしゃる意味が分かりません。
高野さんがひなみ沢症候群を研究する本当の目的は何ですか？
To have my grandfather's masterpiece acknowledged for what it is, and to have him become a god.
高野先生の研究を世間に認めさせること。あなたの祖父が
Wow,
心を
you
込
sound
め
like
て
you
書き
know a
上げた
lot.
論文を踏みつけてないがしろにしたことへの復讐ではありませんか？
I'm reaching the limit of not letting my surprise show on my face. How much does this woman know about me? In the first place, who is she? How does she know everything I'm thinking? I can't admit that out loud in any case. I have appearances to consider. But while this elegant woman was wearing an angelic smile, she laughed with the devil's seductive whisper, several times better at it than I am. A simple smile and devilish grin are completely different. An ordinary smile means goodwill, but a malicious smirk means the complete opposite. This woman can read my deepest thoughts, and while doing so, she's testing me to see how honest I can be with her. Whether I tell her the truth or not isn't the issue here. She's testing me to see if I can trust her enough to confess everything.
もしも私の言っていることが全くの勘違いでしたら、どうかお許しください。お好きな駅までお送りさせます。
I mean,
この近くですと。
in terms of, from Mir's perspective, we have nothing to lose at this point, right? So we might as well give it a shot, right?
でも、もし私の言っていることがあなたの本当の気持ちに少しでも近いのでしたら、私とあなたは力を貸し合える関係になれると思います。どうですか、高野美代さん。
I can't say anything in reply, but I think that simply remaining silent might also be an answer. I want to hear what she wants from me. I've always phrased my objective as some vague idea of turning my grandfather into a god. But she's just taught me what my true objective is. I want to get revenge for my grandfather's suffering. I want those people to fight over the right to read the article they once trampled on and mocked. I want them to believe, no, to worship, every single word my grandfather left behind. That is my true objective. This woman has stated out loud that which I have only whispered within myself. She even asked me if she was correct. Is this woman an angel or a devil? If I'm a human, is she in existence above me?
あなたの不幸は自分の目的を具体的に理解していなかったことなのです。だからいつまでも惰性で研究を続けても至れない。ひなみ沢症候群の神秘を探るという抽象的な目的を掲げ、いつまでも達成できず、自らの人生に疑問を抱かざるを得なかったのです。そうでしょそう、それは違う。あなたの真の目的、いえ、夢はそんな抽象的なものじゃない。思い浮かべることができますか？それはこういう情景。この国の中枢を預かる真の頂点たちがあなたの祖父の論文を読み、その内容に驚きながら一片の疑いもなく信じてくれること。彼らは裏側に足跡が残るその論文をうやうやしく読み、その先見性あふれる研究に敬意を示し、恐れおののく。どう想像できましたかしら？
This is my first time envisioning something like this. And yet, it's been my dream all along.
ひなみ沢症候群という言葉はあなたの祖父が作られたのでしょ。 その言葉がこの国の津々浦々にまで響き渡り、あなたの祖父の生み出した言葉が永遠に刻まれて残る。
永遠に刻まれて残る。
そう、それはあなたの祖父が、その偉業が永遠の存在に昇華されるということ。それがあなたが高野美代として生涯を捧げる夢じゃないのかしら。
My grandfather's masterpiece will be remembered forever. Remembered. Forever?
なのに、その偉業を全く理解できない豚たちは、あなたのその夢を単なる派閥争いや権益の奪い合いの生贄とし、無残に踏みにじろうとしている。あなたの祖父の論文をぎゅっと踏みつけたように。
She sounds just like you, Takano.
あなたは悔しい。とても悔しい。あなたが一生懸命作った資料を、そう、あなたのおじいちゃんが一生懸命作った論文と同じもの。それを踏みにじり、嘲笑った彼らが許せない。おじいちゃんの偉業をバカにした豚どもが許せない。そうでしょう。そうじゃないですか。本当はそう。それを心優しいあなたは、人を罵る言葉を知らなくて考え至らなかっただけ。
An indescribable emotion is filling me, making me feel like I'm suffocating. The sensation of being cautious and calm, of trust and mistrust are all blending together. My heart is beating fast and my fingertips are shaking. Why am I at peace? Is it because she reminded me of my true dream that I couldn't express with my own words until now? Is it because she made me aware of the anger within myself? Why am I hesitant? Is it because she's reminded me of things I've never told anyone until now? No, those are the things I've never even told myself.
ねえ、ミオさん。もし私の言ったことが間違っていないどころか大正解なのだったら、どうなさったのかしら。お具合が悪いのかしら。ならもうこれ以上お話に付き合わせるのも悪いですわね。もう違う。
A small noise leaked pathetically out of my mouth, like a child apologizing for a prank.
何かおっしゃったかしら。
I know she heard me. The woman smiled, trying to make me say it again.
違います。具合悪くないです。
ならよかったです。話を続けましょう。
私の夢がそうなら、あなたに何ができるというんですか。
あなたの2つの復讐をお手伝いします。一つはあなたの祖父のための復讐。あなたの祖父の論文を嘲笑った者たちにもう一度うやうやしく手に取らせてやりましょう。もう一つはあなたと祖父の約束であり心のつながりでもある症候群の研究を、派閥争いだけを理由に踏みにじり、研究を彼らの権益のためだけに終わらそうとする理事会への復讐。あなたの目の前で資料を踏みにじり、あなたの人生さえも踏みにじろうとした豚どもへの復讐。
祖父の論文を手に取らせ、それを踏みにじった理事会に復讐する。
こちらも腹を割りますと、もちろんお手伝いをするのは 私たちの利害が一致するからです。小泉先生が日本の未来のために立ち上げられたプロジェクトを先生亡き後に食い物にしようとする輩を放置することはできません。私たちにもっと力があればそのような輩の介入を許しはしないのですが、風向きは変わり、もはやプロジェクトは小泉先生の理想には戻りません。豚どもが私欲を肥やすための豚小屋となり果てました。そのようなプロジェクトをこれ以上放置することはアルファベットプロジェクトの名付け親でもあられる小泉先生も望まれません。プロジェクトは小泉先生の理想を離れた時点で畳まれるべきなのです。
派閥争いの生贄羊を今度は狼にしようというつもりですか？
あなたが今のまま生涯公開できぬ祖父の論文を胸に隠居されることを選ぶおつもりでしたら無理にとは申しません。
No, I won't let that happen. I don't mind falling to the ground myself. But at least my grandpa's article.
あなたとおじいちゃんの結晶である論文を永遠のものにはしたくないですか？それはだってあなたの念願のはずじゃないのですか？
それが
あなたの本当の夢を叶えるチャンスを私たちがお手伝いします。
On the night I decided I was a loser in life and drowned myself in tears and alcohol after being abandoned by everything, I met someone who could be an angel or a devil. Is this divine salvation or the devil's seduction? I fought with the board of directors regarding the continuation of our research, but that was completely off target. That wasn't my true goal. My objective isn't to continue researching Hinamizawa syndrome. It's to have the world acknowledge my grandfather's research as a masterpiece. Somehow the method for achieving that swapped places with my objective and caused me to misunderstand myself. The purpose of my life isn't to continue my grandfather's research. It's to get revenge and repay them for my grandfather's suffering. That's what this woman is saying. She's promising to make my grandfather's research eternal. She's also promising an opportunity to take revenge against those who laughed at it. When Uncle Kozumi died, I thought God was playing dice with my fate. But my unshakable conviction gathered together a power stronger than God's die. So maybe this meeting happened for a reason. Curse you, God! You're testing me again. I will overcome the death of Uncle Koizumi. And I will make my grandfather in an eternal existence by taking revenge against the God who tested me. I will, for certain, I will take my revenge. Alright, so that was what we needed for that last scene. That was a long one, too. That was like half an hour there, I think. That's what we needed for this last scene here. Was the revenge thing, I think. Revenge of Miya Takano. And then, I think we have the Keiichi changing schools. So, I'm going to cut it off there. Next time, depending on how long these are, I'm going to try to get them all done in one go. We'll see. Because we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if they had average take, 10 minutes to 15 minutes, we could get them done in one sitting, but if they're going to be more like half-hour ones, we'll have to break that up. So all these fragment things should be coming up soon. I mean, we don't really have that many more to go through, right? So we'll do the Revenge of Miya Takano next. And I think that would be the game board setup. And then we could probably yeah, we get these fragments of Onikakushi, fragments of Watanagashi, and then, yeah, it'll look like we can move forward with our next fragments. And that would be the seven fragments, and then we get the fragment of Maitsuri by Gashi. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. Thanks for watching. We will hopefully be back a little sooner than last time. I didn't realize how long it had been, honestly. I've been playing through 999 again and kind of forgot a little bit. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time for some more Higurashi. Bye!